Witam z
Witam z Chicago.
Nazywam się Karina Kocamba i jestem wiceprezydentem User Experience w firmie Rheaply. Rheaply to technologiczny startup, który powstał 3 lata temu. Cel firmy to wsparcie organizacji i instytucji biznesowych i akademickich w bardziej efektywnym zarządzaniu zasobami ludzkimi i materiałowymi. Przyjmujemy, że o gospodarce należy myśleć w kategoriach obiegu zamkniętego. Nasza platforma umożliwia skuteczne wykorzystanie posiadanych środków, lepszą redystrybucję lub wymianę sprzętu czy aparatury do badań naukowych. Z naszych rozwiązań korzystają uniwersytety, Yale i MIT, czy kompanie takie jak Google i Exelon, a nawet US Air Force. Wierzymy, że nowe technologie są kluczowe do osiągnięcia zrównoważonego rozwoju, ekorozwoju. Dziękujemy za możliwość zaprezentowania Rheaply i podzielenia się naszą filozofią i doświadczeniem.
Thank you, Karina, for the lovely intro, and thank you to the Polish Ministry of Development for recognizing the work that Rheaply is pioneering here in Chicago to scale the circular economy through technology. My name is Tom Feccarata. I'm the VP of External Affairs and Marketing for Rheaply. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for including a tech company from Chicago in your presentation. Looking ahead to the agenda, I'm going to define the problem of the circularity gap and how it's tied to resource inefficiency and technology limitations. And then I'll introduce Rheaply and what we're doing really to make resource management more interconnected within organizations, using principles of the Sustainable Development Goals, specifically SDGs 9 and 12. So to lead off the presentation, I want to bring something up that I feel is missing in the conversation about the circular economy. You often hear a lot of discussion today about resilient products. Products as a service where a manufacturer retains ownership. Extended producer responsibility is another topic, a trendy topic around, how manufacturers and producers can handle the actual treatment and disposal of products throughout the product life cycle. But there's something else we need to really shore up if we're going to move past the linear economy. This take, make, and dispose approach is pushing us really into uncharted territory. 100 billion tons of materials are consumed annually, and less than 10% of that figure is cycled back into the economy. So we must look at our broken and disconnected supply chain and realize that this problem is linked to material resource management inefficiencies in the workplace. The proportion of resources leaking from the economy and impacting the environment are really growing at an alarming rate. Organizations are now broadening the spectrum of materials used in today's consumer products in new ways. And so what we're seeing is resources are piling up, and they're often purchased from single sources and bought over and over again because of a lack of visibility into where and when assets become available. So let's take a closer look at how operational inefficiencies and technology constraints are kind of at the root of this problem with resource waste in organizations. We have found through our early pilot partners and through case studies that there exists 3 kind of core operational issues affecting organizations today that technology can help out with right away. The first is this double purchasing scenario. You have a lot of double buying in the workplace because there is simply a high volume of assets. Operations managers, facilities managers, they aren't sure where demand exists in real time outside of the closest department where they work. And so due to this lack of visibility, and kind of as a segue into bullet number 2, there's this high propensity for waste and unnecessary storage. unwanted and yet still valuable resources are being stored or trashed all the time. And all of this sort of leads to this third area of sort of a gap in the technology. We are using legacy systems of old to really solve an Industry 4.0 problem. We must distribute the responsibility of reuse throughout organizations so that the burden of responsibility doesn't fall or rest on a single operations manager's shoulders. And sort of the question that we want to come up with today in our presentation is, there are 17 SDGs that exist today, but how do we connect them all, and how can we do that through disruptive technology? We believe the missing ingredient to sustainable development goal adoption is through technology. Some of the most prominent North American thought leaders, including Kate Brandt at Google's sustainability office, are thinking about waste as a data and tech problem similar to Rheaply. Kate Brandt is shown here at Circularity in Minnesota last year, asking the question, what if we saw stuff as information? What if we looked at our waste problem as really a technology challenge, and we're really trying to embrace this mindset at Rheaply as well. And I know this meeting is to discuss a 2030 SDG agenda, but there really has never been a more dire need to forward SDG adoption through technology than right now. COVID-19 is a glimpse into a risky climate future because it gave us a taste of what a broken supply chain looks like. If we can't source the medical equipment for our first responders, what will our response look like in the future for a similar climate crisis? Our planet must start using principles of circularity to alleviate the supply chain inefficiencies right now. And the PPE shortage story is really a resource inefficiency story and a microcosm for a bigger effort to redirect materials and resources to those who need them most. And that's what we're doing at Rheaply. Our mission is to help make the world's resources more discoverable and easily transferable in our global economy. If you look at the UN's 17 Sustainable Development Goals, they really act as a rubric for the future, and they present us with this wonderful shared common goal toward a zero-waste future. Rheaply falls sort of into SDGs 9 and 12, which is built on this pillar of resilient infrastructure and inclusion, and SDG 12, which is more about ensuring sustainable consumption and production patterns. But you can really say that our technology, which I alluded to before, sort of sits at the middle of all of the circular-focused SDG targets. It's a way of achieving goals through interconnectedness, and really it's about connecting people to each other and to critical resources that are available within organizations. So how is this done? How are we accomplishing this? Traditional asset management software is built to track inventory and asset depreciation over time. Conversely, we've built a flexible technology. Our core technology is called an asset exchange manager to understand utilization rates and where assets exist within the value chain. All of this is done in a very user-friendly and intuitive system that's easy to use, really for anyone within your organization. And it gives you insights into the visibility of what resources are available and the whereabouts of those resources and their relative value. As a result, Rheaply reduces the likelihood of unnecessary double buying. So there's better purchasing practices within your department or core kind of functional business units, and this reduces costs over time. Additionally, surplus resources can be transferred internally to stakeholders, so more of an intramural sharing economy, or Alternatively, to admin-approved qualified vendors, universities, nonprofits, charities, any cross-institutional or cross-organizational sharing that might be permitted within your organization. We're also capturing waste diversion statistics as well as cost savings estimates for resources by department and by category. So on Rheaply, if you're a facilities manager and you want to learn how specific teams and business units are reusing resources and which classes of assets are being reused the most, you have that insight into our platform. And all of this is done, of course, in an effort to reduce unnecessary waste and help us meet our sustainability goals within organizations. So this is just a quick slide to kind of give you a sense of what we're trying to build here in terms of combining the best asset management system functionalities with this idea of an online marketplace or exchange, and really feeding in user-friendly features and functionalities to help make reuse more cohesive across large organizations. Rheaply is used by globally renowned enterprise organizations, as Karina alluded to earlier, and is built to support circular resource management for really any organization with a high volume of assets. This could be a tech company, retail, consumer brands, the built environment. We've also seen our technology used in biopharma as well as government and NGOs. We were recently awarded for the MIT Solve Circular Economy class for a software solution to scale the circular economy, as well as the Sustainable Purchasing Leadership Council recognized our technology for advancing the circular economy. So to wrap up, we really invite you to think about the technological changes you can make to further drive collaboration and shore up inefficiencies in your resource management workflow, and take a little more control of the material flows within your organization by building transparency and ease of use into the process. We really have 1 decade left now to achieve the SDG goals, and we must look towards a resource management future to be more inclusive, community-driven, and data-driven as it relates to capturing metrics around organizational waste reduction efforts. And we really think that Rheaply can help organizations achieve that. So thank you all so much for sharing Rheaply's story in the Inspiration Forum, for including us as a model for SDG adoption. And we wish you all great health during these times, and all the best.